Welcome to the deep dive, where we plunge into the extraordinary to extract the, well, truly fascinating. Today, we're not just telling a story, we're embarking on this grand quest where the very fate of gravity itself hangs precariously in the balance. Our heroes, well, they're a motley crew, really. Centaurs, zombies, transformed humans, all navigating a world where, and you gotta hear this, puns are literal magic.
It's a truly unique narrative.
Yeah.
And our mission in this deep dive, it's custom tailored from its rich tapestry. We're
Right.
going to focus on a specific, pretty universal goal, rescuing the demon Earth and restoring gravity. And they
Okay.
need these 6 ancient artifacts, Rings of Xanth, and this mysterious object called the Swell Foop, which, believe it or not, has this astonishing power to manipulate the emotions of demons.
Right, the emotions of demons. And along the way, we're going to extract some pretty surprising insights, I think,
Yeah.
about identity, how fluid it can be, the raw power of emotion, and those hidden forces that govern not just this fantastical world, but maybe, just maybe, our own understanding of reality, too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's unpack this for you.
Okay, so our journey really kicks off with Cynthia. She's a centaur, but, and this is important, not a natural one. She was actually transformed from a human about 80 years before our story starts.
Hmm.
Her personal dilemma, the thing that gets this whole epic going, it's incredibly intimate. She needs to know if her future kids with Tress Centaur will breed true.
Breed true, meaning, like, will they be centaur or human?
Exactly. That's the question. And this deeply personal concern, it sets her off on the path to the good magician Humphrey's castle.
That's such a fundamentally human worry, isn't it? Even for a centaur. And what a castle. She arrives, and it looks all peaceful, deceptively placid, you said. Calm moat, drawbridge down. Like, come on in. But nope, it's a setup.
Totally a setup. As she gets close, the drawbridge just zips up, and she finds she can't walk, swim, or even fly across. There's this unseen challenge.
An unseen challenge. What does that obstacle tell us about Xanth's, like, unique rules, how things work there?
Well, it immediately shows how literalism functions as actual magic in this world. And what's fascinating here is her encounter with Metria, a demoness. Metria tries to help Cynthia, throws her a rope, but she struggles with her own talent, which she calls crastination.
Crastination. Wait, you mean procrastination?
Yeah, Cynthia figures that out pretty quick. But Metria's literal interpretation, her struggle with the word itself, it actually causes a delay. It manifests physically. And this tells Cynthia that Metria isn't just one demoness. She's one of 3 aspects because she got squished into parts by a sphinx earlier. It's a brilliant early example of how abstract concepts are made totally real.
So Metria is literally trying to stall, to crastinate, just to find out what Cynthia's mission is. Clever, in a weird way. But when Cynthia finally gets to Humphrey, the good magician, he tries to put her off. He basically says her question, will my baby be a stinkweed, is like super simple compared to this horrendously risky mission she has to take on instead.
Right, that's the crucial pivot. Her personal quest just explodes into a universal one, instantly.
So what does that suggest about, destiny or fate in this world?
It suggests that sometimes, yeah, the most mundane, intimate worries can trigger these huge cosmic events. Humphrey reveals the demon Earth has vanished, and its magic, gravity, is fading fast, which threatens to destroy both Earth and Xanth. He tells Cynthia, you have to handle this, despite being reluctant at first. It's a classic narrative move, isn't it? Small problem uncovers a massive hidden crisis, shows how linked the personal and the universal really are.
Okay, so a monumental crisis needs a team, right? And 6 rings of Xanth are needed to find and control this Swell Foop thing. Each ring tied to a demon and a region: earth, air, fire, water, idea, and void.
And the unique thing is each ring chooses its own designated holder. And that person cannot take the ring off until the mission's done. So the first challenge isn't just finding the rings themselves, but also finding their chosen bearers,
Yeah.
who are scattered all over the place. Xanth's, even beyond, adds this layer of fated responsibility to who they are.
Okay, first ring quest, water. Cynthia gets paired with Zilcha, the zombie mermaid, and Zilcha talks at this pretty serious impediment, saying stuff like "ze push, ze zing."
Yeah, exactly. The pool's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia eventually figures out she means the Brain Corals pool, which is, ironically, a place Cynthia was actually trapped for 72 years way back when.
Oh, wow. So that's got to be a journey full of literal and emotional hurdles then.
It absolutely is. It forces Cynthia to revisit some old trauma, definitely. They navigate these cursed fiends in Gateway Castle who communicate using charades, but with literal puns. These aren't just jokes, they're like cognitive puzzles. They show the dangers, but also the weird logic of a world where words have real consequences. But the biggest reveal, the ring of water itself. It turns out to be the toilet.
Wait, what? A toilet? Like a human toilet?
Yep, a human refuse device. And it's not just for laughs, though it is funny. It's this brilliant commentary on human hang-ups about, natural bodily functions. Compared to a centaur's more integrated, less shame-based comfort with their own form. It's an unexpected look at identity and self-acceptance, really.
That is surprisingly deep. Okay, next up, Brianna. She's a mundane from our Earth, right? With a special deal for magic. She needs the Ring of Fire. Her guide is David Baldwin, another mundane. And their journey takes them all the way back to Mundania, our Earth, to find someone named Jaylin. What do we learn from their trip across dimensions?
Well, going back to Mundania immediately throws these cultural differences into sharp relief. You see mundane prejudice, like against a black girl and white boy traveling together, or just this intense fascination with centaur anatomy. It really underscores how our perceptions and biases are shaped by where we come from. And Brianna uses the Ring of Fire for these practical, maybe slightly naughty tasks, like making fake IDs.
Or sparking a pervert on a plane, I read.
Exactly. It shows how magic, even fantasy magic, can have these surprisingly mundane, ethically kind of gray uses. Makes you think about its real-world parallels.
She even connects to the Xanth zone through the internet, which leads to sharing a hotel bed, some accidental nudity, and that really highlights Brianna's comfort with her body versus David's sort of awkwardness.
Right. And then getting a plane ticket back. She uses the Ring of Fire to reveal a woman's carotid artery aneurysm. Basically trades a life-saving diagnosis for a ride.
Whoa. Talk about high-stakes bartering. What is that whole exchange, that ethical tightrope? Tell us about her and the quest.
It shows Brianna as incredibly resourceful, very pragmatic, maybe ruthless. Her comfort with her body signals this deep self-acceptance, which contrasts sharply with David's, internalized modesty. The aneurysm thing is particularly striking. It's both revelation and manipulation, right? Forcing a life or death choice, showing how desperate situations can really blur those ethical lines. The mission comes first, above maybe traditional morals. It's a good reminder that heroism often comes in, complex shades of gray.
Definitely complex. Okay, next. Cynthia Centaur. He's Sim's tutor, and he's after the Ring of Earth. His guide is Ziziva, King X's wife. And she's a zombie, but a fit warrior zombie with no visible rot. That sounds unusual for a zombie.
Very unusual.
Yeah.
And their challenges are just delightfully literal, hammering home the world's pun-based magic system. They run into vitamin, literally, vitamins they have to eat to pass.
Eat the vitamin, okay.
And then there's this invisible illusion of touch wall. It's described as a literal trap for men who freak out at seeing female human underwear. But she manages to resist the urge to freak out, which kind of subverts typical male reactions in that sort of scenario, subtly commenting on those societal hang-ups.
And she builds a zombie machine, a flying thing animated by Ziziva's severed ear, which then regrows on her head so the machine can hear commands.
That's Xanth for you. Wonderfully bizarre, finding function in the grotesque. And the Ring of Earth itself. Turns out it's hidden among the good magician's dirty socks.
Of course it is. Among the dirty socks. So, Che puts it on, tests its power, makes Wara, Humphrey's daughter-in-law, and Ziziva bow to him.
He does. It's a fascinating look at command. The zombie machine epitomizes Xanth's literalism. Finding the ring among socks is classic fantasy humor, grounding immense power in the mundane. And Che's immediate power test, making them bow. It reveals this raw, almost primal side of him, hints at how intoxicating new authority can be. Makes you wonder if even the good guys are totally immune to power's subtle corruptions.
Good point. Then we have Justin Tree, who, the name fits. Used to be a tree and now he's a man. He needs the Ring of Idea. And his guide is Unpun, a zombie who lost a sense of humor and hates puns. Which sounds like a recipe for disaster in Xanth.
It definitely creates some friction. They travel to Princess Ida's moon, Tarot, using a soul remover. Travel is by thought, colors mean direction. And they meet these centaurs, Casanova and Cassandra, who are scared to travel through comic strips because of the ferocious puns.
Ferocious puns. And they're literally dangerous, right? Like a peacock. Peacock makes you urinate. Sweet tooth turns teeth to candy. Shrinking violets.
Exactly. Literal dangers. But the really interesting one is ironies, which reverse actions. Justin, being pretty sharp, figures out how to use this. He starts saying the opposite of what he wants to make things happen. And he eventually uses this to rescue Punny, the previous ring holder, who was stuck in a pumpkin patch on Tarot.
So what's the big takeaway from Justin's journey? Manipulating reality through words and thought.
It really highlights the extreme literal power of language in Xanth. Words aren't just symbols. They're active forces shaping reality. Just in figuring out the ironies is this brilliant insight into mastering a world with seemingly absurd rules. It's a powerful lesson in adapting your thinking, finding logic in chaos, and using counterintuitive strategies. It suggests that understanding the underlying rules, no matter how strange they seem, gives you immense power.
Okay, Ring of Air. This one goes to Sim, the chick of the Cymer, the oldest, wisest bird. Sim's destined to learn everything. His guide, Garnishy, a zombie harpy who apparently is never without an insult. That sounds like a fun pairing.
Oh, it's something. Their journey takes them to Castle Maydragon, which is actually a person transformed into a castle named Becca. Inside, they meet the Random Factor, a being who just does unpredictable stuff like switching souls whenever his door opens. This whole adventure forces them to confront literal figures of speech. They realize they're speaking in synecdoche, metonymy, oxymoron, and these aren't just literary terms. They're active magic they have to learn to control to get out. That's a fantastic exploration of language, literally shaping reality.
Wow. And Sim gets caught by a tangler tree, but he's rescued by Smash Ogre and Tandy Nymph and their kid, Esk, who've traveled back in time because of the Random Factor.
Right. Time travel adds another layer of chaos. And then in this amazing twist, Sim realizes the Random Factor is the Ring of Air, and he claims it.
Right.
Just through sheer force of will and because he's the designated holder.
Claiming the Random Factor itself. What's the deeper meaning there?
It's incredibly profound, I think. It suggests that even chaos, randomness itself, can be understood, maybe even influenced or controlled by a designated will. Sim, being destined for wisdom, literally embodies that ability to see order in randomness, or maybe impose order on it. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it, for how even the most unpredictable stuff in our lives might be navigable if we understand its nature, or if we're somehow meant to deal with it. Makes you question if real wisdom is about mastering fixed rules or finding patterns in the chaos.
Heavy stuff. Okay, last one. Jaylin, a mundane girl. Chosen for the Ring of Void just because she daydreamed she said Swell Foop. Seriously.
Seriously. Her guide is Putre, a zombie night cult. He communicates using speech balloons that just pop up over his head.
Yeah.
And Putre's backstory is wild too. His own mother, Mare Imbrium, turned him into a zombie to save him from the Night Stallion.
Okay, speech balloons and zombie moms. Got it. So they go into the dream realm.
Yeah, via a hyponogord. It's where dreams are literally manufactured. They meet leprechauns who make her experience a bad dream, a literal gallows scene, to prove she's worthy. This trial, facing fear head-on, really underscores confronting inner demons, quite literally in this context.
And then she has to navigate the literal web, like the internet web, but a giant spider web across a chasm, with a spider trying to eat her.
Exactly. Arachid, the spider. But once Jaylin gets the Ring of Void, everything changes. She gains control over the entire dream realm, gets the power of flight, she can conjure dream images, make a dream board to block a portal.
So the girl who just daydreamed becomes master of the subconscious and the void. What's that saying about chosen ones or the power of imagination?
Well, it kind of flips the script on traditional heroism, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jaylin isn't chosen for some grand talent or noble bloodline. It's for this simple, almost accidental act of imagination. Daydreaming, she said, Swell Foop. It emphasizes that profound power can show up in the most unexpected people and places, and that the inner world dreams, thoughts can be just as real and powerful as any physical place. Her mastery over the void suggests that understanding nothingness, the unconscious, grants huge creative and protective power.
Okay, so now the 6 ring bearers are finally together. What's next? Locating the Swell Foop itself.
Right, and they find out they need to arrange their rings in a specific but unknown order on a rock. It's like a secret code they have to crack.
And that's when Maitreya shows up again, looking horrified.
Exactly. She reappears, totally aghast, and reveals the truth about the Swell Foop. It's an almost perfect device, she says, and incredibly dangerous, because it doesn't physically control demons, it generates emotions in them. And demons, since they don't naturally have emotions, they can't handle them. They can't control these feelings, which in turn allows mortals to sort of govern these incredibly powerful beings. It's a complete game changer.
Whoa, so how does that reframe our understanding of power dynamics here?
Well, it gives our heroes a crash course in demon psychology. They realize demons normally just jockey for status, right? But they're super vulnerable to feelings like hope, love, desire, fear, anger. When the Foop transmits those feelings to them, it's almost like emotions are their
Gilicio, yeah.
Precisely. It completely flips the traditional power structure. These immensely powerful cosmic demons, these forces of nature,
Yeah.
they're made vulnerable by the very human experience of emotion. It highlights how something we might see as a weakness our capacity for deep feeling can actually be this incredibly potent tool for control. Makes you think, is true power brute force, or is it understanding and maybe manipulating the intangible stuff like feelings?
Okay, so Maitreya points them towards Demon Xanth for advice.
Yeah.
They go to the Nameless Castle, meet Chlorine, Nimby's wife. Her talent is poisoning water, but she uses it for good.
Right. And Nimby himself, who's a dragon with a donkey head but can take human form, standard stuff for Xanth.
Standard stuff, sure.
Yeah.
And they have a baby, Nimbus.
Yeah, and Nimbus's talent, his innocent baby talent, is mixing metaphors. But around him, these mixed metaphors become literal illusions, though Chlorine, his mom, doesn't actually perceive them, which shows these different levels of perception even among powerful beings. It's a neat insight into how reality can be shaped by belief or ability, often without the wielder even noticing.
Okay, so the demons show up. Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Nemesis, named after planet, for a conference. But they only give the mortals, what, 1% of their attention?
That's all they can spare, apparently. And Justin makes the case, look, you got to help us rescue Demon Earth because gravity, it's essential for all demons. Without it, their whole existence is threatened. The stakes just couldn't be higher.
So this sets up the ultimate challenge, a game against Demon Fornax, who's holding Demon Earth captive.
Exactly. Fornax agrees to a game, a deadly contest. Touch equals nullification. Players get nulled out. Demon Earth and Fornax, as the main players, can't be fully nulled, only partially. The goal, steal keys, find Earth, lead him out, all within 24 hours.
And communication is key, but tricky. They have to plan in silence, no obvious gestures, because guards can report back to Fornax, so they learn to communicate emotionally, through linked hands or wings, transmitting thoughts and feelings without words.
Yeah, it's a profound way to handle secrecy, isn't it? Emphasizes nonverbal communication, emotional intelligence as vital survival tools when words could betray you. So Brianna and Cynthia take on distraction duties. Cynthia uses her unique centaur form.
Her bouncing breasts, the text says.
Right, and Brianna uses her black bottom, as it's put. Strategic distractions for the male guards, allowing them to be nulled and keys grabbed. What's fascinating is, while this is happening, Saturn, the demon of dimension, is just chatting with Cynthia, finds her tiny mortal culture interesting, discusses cultural differences, the expanding universe, all while this high-stakes game is on. Shows you the vast difference in perspective.
Meanwhile, Sim, Che, and Justin are searching the dungeon. Sim's using his sharp senses. They find decoys, Justin shoes, a handkerchief, and props like a skeleton, learning Fornax's tricks. Sim even gets trapped briefly in an oubliette, a deep, dark hole.
Yeah, it's a classic dungeon crawl element. But Fornax's methods are unique because they rely so much on psychological manipulation, not just physical traps. The decoys, the props. They're meant to mislead, disorient, test their judgment, shows the battle is often mental as much as physical.
Then things get really intense. Fornax takes over Jaylin's body and tries to seduce Justin, and through him, Demon Earth, using female charms, amplifying desire with the Foop, testing Justin's loyalty, and Earth's new hope.
That's the core emotional battle right there. Fornax weaponizes emotion, pure and simple, using desire to corrupt Justin and, by extension, Demon Earth. The conflict isn't just physical capture. It's about the allure and the potential trap of mortal emotions for these immortal beings. Brianna, guided by Venus, pushes back. She highlights the cost Earth's mortal experience might jeopardize his immortal freedom. It's this paradox. The feelings that make mortals unique also make them vulnerable. Makes you wonder if mortal life's intensity is worth its fleeting nature.
And this leads to, well, a seriously profound moment. Brianna gets this insight from Venus. The universe. It's an unsolved equation. Particles, antiparticles. Energy, anti-energy. Demons are the numbers in this equation. And solving it leads to nothing. Wow, that's mind-bending. What are the implications there?
I know, right? It's possibly one of the biggest philosophical takeaways.
Yeah.
If the universe is unsolved, it implies that the tension of being unresolved, that inherent duality, is what allows existence. If it were solved, if everything canceled out, the result would just be nothing, a cosmic void. It suggests life, consciousness, the universe we know, it all thrives in this constant dynamic imbalance. Kind of challenges our human drive for ultimate answers, doesn't it? Suggests maybe the process, the unsolved nature of it all, is what makes reality meaningful, vibrant.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely reevaluates the quest for knowledge. Okay, so the final showdown. Brianna and Venus face Fornax, Jaylin, and Justin Earth. Forrest reveals her plan was physical seduction to nullify them via group passion. But Brianna thinks fast, uses a chess analogy, can't be tagged, and throws Justin the key.
And just like that, Justin walks out, symbolizing Demon Earth's escape. Game over. Fornax, interestingly, expresses curiosity about the mortal realm afterwards. Maybe a hint of change for her. And once the mission's done, poof, the Swell Foop and the rings vanish, hide themselves away until needed again. Really emphasizes that immense power shouldn't be abused, right? Maintains that balance of magic and responsibility. The ending really reinforces that power. Even cosmic power has limits and needs ethical guardianship.
What an absolutely incredible journey for our deep dive today. I mean, from Cynthia's very personal quest about family identity,
Right.
all the way to rescuing Demon Earth, restoring gravity, it's been a whirlwind of unexpected turns.
It really has. And it highlights how the narrative explored these profound transformations,
Yeah.
human to centaur, tree to man, those unique zombie states, and the seemingly fantastical stuff, the literal puns, the demons susceptible to emotions. They gave us these really unique insights into identity's fluidity, language's power, and those complex power dynamics.
Yeah, and through it all, the power of connection was just undeniable, wasn't it? Those relationships, even the really quirky or challenging ones, Cynthia and Metria, Justin and Unpun, Che and Ziziva, Sim and Garnishi, Jaylin and Putra, they were absolutely crucial. Really demonstrates how diverse strengths and, yeah, often challenging perspectives, they truly make the most powerful team.
Definitely. And this deep dive, it sort of leaves us with this lingering thought, doesn't it? If in a world like Xanth, these unseen forces, these rules, operate on principles literally beyond our comprehension, and if random coincidences can actually turn out to be hidden talents just doing their thing.
Then what does that suggest about our world? Could there be similar unseen forces? Or maybe hidden talents in us or others shaping our reality in ways we haven't discovered yet, just waiting for us to, I don't know, figure out the right equation. Something to definitely ponder until our next deep dive.